Hello, everybody. So, guess what? You have to understand that when you go and do something with your life, when you're always helping yourself to succeed, you have to understand you have to come into mind. You have to understand you have to come into yourself. You have to really understand how to live life. And when you understand how to live life, then you start doing much better for yourself. You start really understanding. Yeah, you have to understand how it is to live life. Because you have to realize that in the words that you speak, you got everything you ever want. Because those people who understand how to speak words, they're the people who go out and do great things. So you have to understand every single day, practice words. Practice with yourself to speak words. If I didn't speak words, I would not be doing this audio program. You have to understand that there's a powerful thing about speaking words every single day. Because every single day is a new day. But you have to always do new things in life. And when you start doing new things in life, you start actually practicing for something. And when you're practicing for something, you just never know what's going to happen with you. You have to understand you have to expand your communication skills. And when you expand your communicational skills, you're speaking a lot of words. And when you speak a lot of words, things happen in terms of different ways. Because you start to recognize exactly what it is about you, what it is that's going to help you to succeed. And you have to understand it's ideas. The more ideas you have, the better for you. You have to understand you have to go through life understanding so many ideas and understanding how to actually reflect upon life with those ideas. And then you have to give those ideas to other people. You have to understand you have to get information and you have to give it as soon as possible. You have to apply information into your life. And now, if you're suffering, if you're, let's say, going through trauma or any type of bad feeling, you have to understand you have to talk your way through it. You have to talk through everything. And those people who talk through everything, they're the ones to understand something about life. You have to understand, you have to really understand common sense about everything these days. You have to make common sense of it. You have to make common sense of your life. You have to understand that when you really understand how to live life, you're going to understand your words. Your words are directions. I promise you, the direction that your words go into is who you become. You have to understand that, for example, when I'm watching TV, I'm writing words. Do you know why? Because when I understand the words of what people are saying, I make common sense of the situation, and then I make sure that my communicational skills are much better. But the thing is that what else I want to tell you about the TV these days is the TV is very interesting. And I used to be a person who was very, let's say, negative about the television because I was saying to myself, oh, the television doesn't give me the information that I need. But the television's always giving me information that I need. It's especially for you also, because you have to realize something that when I go deep in the words, when I'm writing to the television, when I'm writing words while I'm listening to the television, and now you have to realize sometimes I look at the television, I look at who's there, I see the images of the television. But what's the main thing for me is that I'm speaking words while they are talking words. And while they talk words, I'm speaking words in my journal. And then those words come to me and they give me ideas. Each paragraph, each sentence, each idea, each word that they're talking about updates me about something. You understand? It updates me, but it also gives me emotional intelligence and it gives me IQ. And now, what do I mean by this? You have to realize that if you're not writing in your journal right now, while you're actually talking to me right now, in terms of while you are listening to me, you have to understand that there are deep conversations happening within the words. There's something magnificent happening inside the words. And now, when you go deeply inside the words, when you're really understanding what people are talking about and what the information is, you have to realize you have to form a perception. You have to form a good perception about everything. And now, when I go deeply in the words while I'm listening to the TV, or while I'm watching movies, or while I'm watching soccer, or whatever it is, you have to realize that what I'm really interested about is the words that people are talking about in those films or in the movies or inside of the program. Because those words unlock my potential. Those words are just magnificent to be able to understand something about life, to be able to give me an idea, something that I can get to give much more of myself. And now that's why I'm always reading. I'm always going deeply inside my conversation with myself. And when I go and write in my journal, I'm always reading something in the background. And you have to understand that the thing is that I'm always learning about myself in terms of how I'm speaking words in this planet and what kind of message I want to convey to the world. But you have to realize that everyone's listening to you, because you have to realize that the thing is that people always want ideas. They always want some words, because words are innocent, okay? And you have to understand that people who talk on television, or people on television, for example, how they talk on television is really how it is. I promise you, they can be happy, they can be sad, they can be angry, or whatever. But the thing is that, for example, in the news, you'll see them actually speaking words and they're actually having fun with it. You understand? But the thing is, you have to realize that's a good thing. The good thing about life is that you have to have fun and you have to always convey your message. Convey the person you are every single day. Practice for something that's going to happen in your life. And now I promise you, something is going to happen in your life. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but you have to realize that it's going to work out. Whatever's happening in your life right now is shaping you into the person you're becoming. So you have to realize that if you want to get to better places, you have to start speaking a lot of words. And that's why I bring you back to the television. Because when I'm reading something on television, I'm writing words about it. And when I write lots of words about what I'm listening to, I actually start getting more interested about the conversation. I start getting more into it. I start getting more happy because I'm actually doing something around myself that's actually work on myself. You have to understand that this program right here that I'm giving you right now, this is actually me working on myself. And how is that possible? Because you have to realize that I'm speaking words. I'm actually organizing my thoughts around into what I want to say and how I want to say it. And then I have a perception about myself in terms of how I'm doing in life. I have this imagination going. And now you have to realize that if I'm upset or if I'm angry or if I get really down on myself, I just close my eyes, I lay down, and I just go deeply in my imagination. And that makes me happy. So do whatever it takes to be happy in life. Do whatever you can every single day to do something around life that's going to be magnificent, that's going to really help you to succeed. And you always have to find ideas inside of yourself. You always have to find something to say. Because people who don't talk words, I promise you, they don't have much of a life. You have to understand that words are everything in life. And those people who can speak words can go places and they can go anywhere. You have to understand that. I bring you back to the TV. So you have to realize that when I'm watching TV, I'm writing words about it. And because I'm writing words, I go deeply into the conversation of what people are saying. And I write about it. So if they say something, I write it in my journal. But I don't copy them. I just write it in my own way. I write what they are saying in my own way. And because I paraphrase everything on the television into my own words, I start becoming so interested about what's going on the television and what's going on in my life personally. So if there's anything you have to be interested about, is you have to be interested about yourself. You have to be interesting with yourself, and you have to understand how it is to speak words with people. So you have to realize that recently I went to a nightclub and it was a Serbian event, and I met a person and his name's Paul. And you have to realize, when I got with Paul, I realized it was just me and him. And then it's like we're just talking words and stuff. We're getting to know each other. And then we started going to nightclubs and stuff like that, some pubs and bars. And you have to realize, then I met some new people. You understand? I met some new people on the night. And how did I do this? I talked words with them. I actually showed them my attitude. I showed them who I am. And you have to realize that if you have a good attitude in front of people, then they're going to shout you a drink. Then they're going to help you to be, let's say, to accompany you. They're going to make you feel loved on the night. You know, so it's good to have friends. It's always good to be able to speak to people in some kind of way. And if you see a girl dancing, you have to realize that you can always go and dance with that man or that woman. You understand? But the thing is, you have to realize something about this. It just depends on your values. And now, if you're only there to have sex, then that's your value. You understand? But if you're only there to maybe to talk words, to get their number, to maybe get out with them sometime, to make something happen with yourself and other people. And now you have to unlock your potential. You have to unlock the person you are. Because when you unlock yourself, when you unlock the individual you are, you're speaking words. You're actually getting into the conversation with yourself. And because you're getting into the conversation with yourself, then it becomes interesting about what you're doing. So life becomes interesting when you're actually giving content. When you're giving a lot of information about life, you start being more interested about life. You start actually being much happier about yourself. But life is a study. And life, you have to study about life. You understand? You have to study everything there is. You have to study the mindset. You have to study psychology. You have to study sales. You have to study business. You have to study everything. Everything there is in terms of information, you have to understand it. You have to get to the point of understanding everything. You understand? So there's so much information going on in the world. You understand? And that's the good thing about life, because words can understand that. You understand? Words can understand everything about life. So when you're actually in the words with yourself, you have to give yourself positive feedback, positive things about life. Never negatively criticize yourself. You have to understand that if you're unhappy, it's because of your feelings. And because of your feelings, you have to realize that your feelings are not bad. It's just how you perceive it may be bad. You understand? And then you have to realize sometimes maybe you are feeling like shit. But the thing is, maybe something you're doing, maybe you're drinking caffeine, maybe you're doing drugs, maybe you're around violence, maybe who knows what you are doing with life, except you. But the thing is, you have to realize that what you put into your body is how you feel. You understand? You have to really be careful about what's going into your body these days. And you have to understand, you have to be taking care of yourself, and you have to be loving yourself, and you have to be showing the most empathy toward yourself and other people. And now, never ever feel sorry for people. Never feel sorry for me, never feel sorry for anybody. Because you don't want to be sorry. You understand? And now it's good to say sorry, but don't actually be sorry. You understand? And why is that? Because you have to realize that when you're sorry, when you're so sorry about everything, you understand? Like, you just look like this crybaby. You understand? Oh, sorry. Like, you understand? Like, you just look like this massive crybaby. And now, you have to realize that you can say sorry, but just don't be sorry. You understand? And just understand, there's always more information to go around. There's always more to say. There's always more to do. But I realize when you're speaking words, I realize people can actually tell exactly how you're speaking in terms of those words. And when you speak a lot of words, things manifest in your life. Do you know what's manifesting the most in your life right now? It's actually wisdom. Wisdom in life is everything. Those who attract wisdom in life, they're the people who are the wisest people in the planet. And then you have to realize that everyone, for example, Serbia, Croatia, Nigeria, all these African countries, all the American people, all the world has a telephone. And now, if they don't have a telephone, they can get themselves a book and write pen to paper words. And they can start speaking words from their own mouth. You understand? But why aren't they doing this? Because you have to realize, because they're not aware that they have to speak words. And now they actually speak words in daily life, but they're not doing it more often. They're not trying to do it consciously. I'm consciously trying to speak to this audio program for you. You understand? I'm consciously trying to give you words. I'm conscious of it. I understand. I'm intentional about my words. I'm intentional about speaking words. And that's why I understand that in my day, for example, I wake up, I have myself a green tea, for example, for now. Eventually I'm getting off the caffeine, I'm getting off everything in terms of vaping and everything. But you have to realize that the thing is that I get up, and the first thing I do is I get myself a green tea, and then I start speaking words. And where do I speak words? I speak it with myself. And now you have to realize that I get my phone out and I just start writing something. I don't know what I'm going to write, but I just start speaking words. And then I start making common sense about my imagination. Because when you start speaking words through your imagination, because you have to understand something. Your imagination is always running. And when you start speaking words through your imagination, through your life, through what it is, you have to understand it comes out of you. You understand? The words are coming out of you. And you're in this moment of interest. You're in this moment that you're so keen about life. You're so interested about what's actually happening in your life. Because most people are not interested about things. You understand? They're not open-minded. And the reason for this is because they're not speaking enough words. I promise you, if you spoke enough words, you have all the success in the world. And now you have to realize that if you're in your house all day, you be wherever you need to be to make sure that you're growing. You understand? So if you have to lay down all day long so that you can grow as a person, then you do that. You understand? You have to realize that the thing is that you must never feel bad about yourself that you're in your house all day, or that people are not calling you, or that whatever's happening in your life. Never feel bad about that. Understand that as long as you're growing in life, as long as you're working things out with yourself and other people, you have to realize that the thing is that you just work it out with yourself. You understand? Work out everything with yourself. Work out information. Be an information worker. Work for information. And when you work for a lot of information in your life, you become a wise person. And then when you have so much to talk about in life, then you become interesting. You understand? Because you have so much to say. And when you have so much to say, then you can actually show people the best way of life. You can show people exactly what they need to do to get from point A to point B. But you have to realize that's what growth information is. And growth information is something that helps you to grow. You understand? So you have to realize you have to find your own information. Find the person that you need to be. Set the sail, as Jim Rohn says. And the only way to do this is to speak words. And you have to realize that when I'm setting a direction in my life, I'm actually consciously writing words in my journal. And now, where is my journal? My journal is my phone. You understand? My journal is my social media. And what I post on social media is my journal. And now I'm constantly blogging something. I'm constantly posting information. Information runs the world. And those people who understand information understand how to actually they understand how to format everything. In a sense, so you have to realize that there's always more information coming around in your life, whether it be through ideas or anything else. But you have to realize that the thing is that no matter what happens, there's always something coming into your life. And you have to either open it or close it. In a sense, so you have to realize that if you're going to close anything, then close the past. You understand? And now you can talk about the past, but never go back into the past. And now you have to realize, talk about everything though. Talk about it and just understand, never go backwards. is all I'm saying. So when you're moving forward in life, you have to understand you have to do something procreative. You have to procreate something. You have to understand you have to be creating content. And when you create lots of content in life, things start to open up. You start opening up more opportunities. But where are those opportunities? They're in the wisdom. In your wisdom is the opportunity. In a sense, so you have to realize that if you don't believe in your own words, then how do you expect other people to believe in you? You have to understand you have to be able to speak words. You have to be able to understand words. Because when you understand words, then you understand life, and then you understand how to move forward. And that's the whole point of life. The whole point of life is always to move forward as an individual. Never go backwards. You understand? And you have to understand that if you go backwards, if you take one step back, you put 2 steps forward. You understand? You have to understand you have to get back up in life. And you have to always never struggle in life. Never try to struggle. Always try to thrive. Always try to do better. And try to always live your life to the best individual approach. Try to live your best life. Try to live the best life individually for yourself. So when you're opening up new information for your life, start to write about things. Start to actually get into your journal, get into your electronic phone, get your notepad out, and start writing some words about the TV, about what are they talking about your family, about the past, about the future, about whatever it is that you want to talk about it. Trust me. When you talk about everything, you open up so much for yourself. You open up opportunities, you open up wisdom, you open up information, and then you start getting wiser as a person and you start growing. But if you're not willing to talk words, then you're not really living life. You understand? You have to realize, you have to understand, you have to push yourself to communicate. So how are you ever going to get that woman in your life? How are you ever going to get married to a man or a woman in life? You understand? The thing is, you have to realize that if you want a kid in life, you have to communicate that. You have to speak words to get it. You understand? So you have to realize that they're not going to come running for you. You understand? You have to go to them. That's the thing about life. When you go to them, you start speaking words about everything. Everything that you can imagine. Start speaking words about it to them. Start speaking it to everyone else. Show the world your words. Show the world what you are made of. You understand? Because everything comes in the form of words. Images are words. Imagination is words. Everything is words. And those people that can speak words live a great life. So every single day, open up for yourself. Open up your potential. Open up the person you are. Be open-minded. Don't think anybody's evil. Don't think that anybody is trying to get you or don't think that anyone's out to get you. You understand? Don't be paranoid in life. Be someone who understands that everyone's here for you, working for you, to help you to live your life. Everyone's trying to help you in some kind of way. Look at the world as something that isn't evil. The TV isn't evil. Radio isn't evil. Netflix is not evil. You understand? There's a lot of things going around Netflix. People are wasting time on Netflix. People are not productive watching Netflix. I promise you, the thing is that Netflix has movies, okay? And because you have movies in life, they teach you communicational skills. They teach you how to communicate. But the thing is, you have to teach yourself how to communicate. You understand? And the way you do this is you write about the film. Write about what you're learning in that film. You understand? And when you start writing about the film, or when you start writing about life, you're actually like a life coach. You're actually starting to teach yourself again. you're actually starting to open up to yourself. You're actually starting to become a better person now because you're writing words about life. And when you write words about life, you start making a mindset for yourself. You start opening up dreams that you've never thought that you could achieve. You understand? You start opening up new goals in your life. You start making plans for your life. You start planning your life so much that you're now flying everywhere around the world because you're achieving it in your words. So if you really understand anything about life, you have to understand yourself. Understand what makes you tick, understand what makes you angry, understand what makes you good, understand what makes you not good, and understand what you can do to help other people. Yes, and you have to understand, you have to open up to yourself and other people. And you have to be in social occasions sometimes. You have to get out into a nightclub, start speaking words with people, just to communicate, just to talk words and experience people. You understand? Experience life. You understand? You have to realize nothing is bad. The nightclubs are not bad. I used to think the nightclub is so bad because there were so many intoxicated people there. You understand? But it's not bad. The people are not bad. You understand? You have to realize that nobody's bad in life. You understand? And now, there are maybe people who do bad in life, but you have to realize that if they do bad to themselves and not to you. You understand? You go the way of good. You go the way of showing people empathy and compassion, and you'll never have trouble in your life. You understand? You have to realize that every single day you're always doing something to help other people. You understand? You have to always live your life for that. You have to live your life helping yourself and other people. And when you help yourself the most, then that's what counts. You have to understand, you have to make it count in your life. When you start making things count for your life, you start opening up everything for yourself. You start opening up dreams. And when you open up dreams for yourself, you can understand what you're doing. You can understand exactly how you're going to manifest things. Why? Because you're opening up words in your life. You're speaking a lot of words. And when you plan on camera, when you plan on video camera, or when you're speaking words in any format, you understand? Then you open up so much potential. You're opening up your life. You're opening up your life to people. And you have to do this. You have to understand, when you open up so much empathy and generosity through words and through everything that you can understand, you have to understand, you start giving it a lot. And you start giving this information, and things are just happening for you. You understand? So you have to realize that there's always more that you can understand. There's always more to do in life. And you have to always work on your mindset. So when you start working on your mindset, you start doing a lot of things for yourself. You start showing a lot of creativity. And that's the whole point of living a great life, is always to be creative. Always be creative about your life. Always be the best person in your life. You understand? Always be someone influential. Be an influential person. Live your life to the fullest. You understand? Have you ever heard that saying? Live life to the fullest? Because you have to realize many people are not living life to the fullest. Do you know why? They're just unaware. They're unaware about how to do it. Because they didn't teach themselves yet. You have to teach yourself about everything these days. You understand? You have to teach yourself how to live life. You have to teach yourself how to do everything. And when you understand much more about life, then you have more wisdom about life. Then you actually can start thriving. Then you can start doing things. Then you can start manifesting more for yourself. But that's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of living. So, if you understand anything about this audio program, I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you start really understanding more about yourself and other people. and start writing about other people in your journal. Start writing a lot of things about people. And then you're going to be more positive because you're going to understand what negativity is and you're going to understand what positivity is. But if you don't write in your journal, then you're not going to really understand how to actually live life. Because those people who understand to write in their journal. They understand to have a journal in their life. And that's why I write so much content down in my journal. Because I understand more about it. I understand much more about what I can do. And because I write so much words, that's why I've written 49 books in my life. 49 books. I've written 1 million words just in ebooks. 1 million words. And now you have to realize that when you start speaking a lot of words, that's what you can do. You understand? And you just have to open up to yourself and other people. You understand? You have to showcase yourself. You have to showcase the person you are.